Deconverted man, deconverted man. Oh, I'm broadcasting live. Hey, it's deconverted man. S.J. Thompson posted a thing on Twitter. I know, it's so exciting. I had to come to you live. Uh, I thought maybe, this was one of those late night posts that sometimes you make a post and you didn't really think it through and you're like, I can't delete it now. Oh, well, and I'll fix it later or something. But I was wrong. I was wrong. Oh, my. So, yeah. So let's go ahead and look at this. This. So S.J. Thompson says the universe is 13.8 billion years old. That's correct. And the Earth is 4.5 billion years old. Also correct. And if you posit 2,000 plus humans spontaneously appeared on our planet, your logic has left you. I would agree. That would give us more evidence of divine intervention. I disagree. What actually happened is a man and woman appeared. Wait, what? My response was just question marks because I dropped them. What? So, who said, as Kathleen asked the question, who said that anybody spontaneously appeared? Like, where did you get the number 2,000 from? What? And SJ responded that anyone who posits the impossibility of a first and second Homo sapien who bred based on the bottleneck. Yeah, well, two people would not be enough, and I don't know how you think evolution works, but Catlin says I don't think you understand evolution. I think that's a pretty good assessment. One group of the species as a whole adapted slowly over time and became Homo sapiens. Right? It's a transition through time. It's not like yesterday there was just whatever the bleeps before Homo sapiens. Like I don't know. I was just walking around, and then like just two of them, bing, hey, we're human now. The next day, that's not how it works. It's not like one woman and one man were born to different families, and those were the first Homo sapiens, and then they grew up and they found each other, and they're like, hey, we're Homo sapiens, yay, let's have sex. That's not. That still would produce a bottleneck, by the way. So it's still that okay. Okay, so we are Homo sapiens. I'm not sure that that's right, but okay. It's not impossible to suggest the first two came within 46 chromosomes in the same general location. What? They had children. Which part? What? No, that's not how it works at all. Catlin again. There wasn't any first two in the first place. Yeah, it like happened over time. Like there, it's like a gradient going from white to black. There's a lot of shades in between. It's just not like an on-off switch, Unless you propose they were born spontaneously. No, there had to be two who came first. No, there was no. That's not how it works. No. Okay, so like, look. Okay, you have however many people there were. I don't know. Thousands, tens of thousands, 20,000. I have no idea. But a lot of pre-humans, proto Homo sapiens walking around. And they are very close to Homo sapiens. Their kids, all of them collectively, every kid that they have is going to be the Homo sapien. Like it's like, oh, well, the first one born, that's like the first Homo sapien. Then the second one born, that's the second Homo sapien. Yeah, I guess if you really like, if you were there in the midst of time and you could measure all that, you could make that determination maybe. But like, what if the first two were guys? Like, well, the next one's a girl. Okay, yeah, sure. But it again, it's just no, because there's other kids being born, and so how do you think how do you think that this work? Yeah, so she's slowly ratcheting her way towards young earth creationism. God-free world says, yeah, I don't, it seems to be that way. Explain the bottleneck. Where is the first man? Yeah, there you go. It's Ricky Gervais, right? Yeah, there's the transition that I'm talking about. Although, yes, that's not an actual image, because this would take a long time to get to. But yeah, so where would you put the first one? Like here or here or here? Like where? Not there. Too much hair. Not there. Oh no, way too much. Still too much hair. Maybe like somewhere in here. And this sort of thing has been used against young Earth creationists with skulls, and they can't decide which skull is first or whatever, and they debate amongst themselves. Because you can't look at it in the narrow way that you're trying to look at it. You're saying that there was not a first Homo sapien? Showing me your versions of Ricky Gervais that you Photoshop or work. There had to be a first, Steve. No. Well, yes, there was a first and a second, but that wasn't Adam and Eve necessarily. They might have both been boys or both been girls, or and what if there wasn't a first? Like, what if two babies were born at the same time simultaneously in different parts of the world, or even in the same tribe? That could have happened. So then there is no first in that case. So then what? I mean, that happens in the modern day and age, where babies are born at the same day, at the same time of the day. So why would it, would they all be first then? Like, what if like 100 were all born at the same time? Well, they were the first Homo sapiens. Like, yeah, okay. So what? Is the argument that evolution is real, but humans are divinely created separate from evolution? No. Then what the hell is the argument? Yeah. Literally no one's claiming 2,000 humans spontaneously appeared. Yeah, that's like, where did that number come from? Just like, hey, it sounds like a good number. I don't know. Yeah, and if we came from two people, we'd be so inbred that we wouldn't have survived very long. So that's true as well. Let's see. So everybody is trying to explain, how it works. And here this guy doesn't. I guess, yeah, okay. Look, Adam and Eve, if they had existed in any way, shape, or form, could have had as many sons and daughters as they wanted. It doesn't matter if those sons and daughters interbreed with each other. That creates a bottleneck. Let's see. We need to get medical professionals involved. Like, there was never two first. It was like, when did Christianity become so anti-science and the religion of stupid? Well, that started about 2,000 years ago. The day it was invented. There you go. When are you guys finally gonna give your father and me some grandchildren? Woo! Adam and his sister from his rib is not a big enough gene pool. Yeah, like, that's the other thing. Like, Eve was clone of Adam, sort of like. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Okay, let's see if she ever gets around to responding to any of this, because like everyone's just telling her how wrong she is. It's based on a tweet that he deleted. I tried to respond to him, but it's a deleted tweet, so she tweeted it herself. Yeah, maybe it was a good idea to let it die. Just an idea. Yeah. Did the story? Does the story of Adam and Eve work scientifically? No, it doesn't. Thanks for asking. Oh man, it's bad. It keeps going. There's more replies. It's just as bad. I don't know. Is it just as bad as when she tweeted out that Christianity cures depression, or is this worse? I don't know. Okay, the genealogy presented in the Bible, which one? There's two of them, includes the name of people representing generations. Really, so it's not people; it's actually generations. We're all sons and daughters of Adam. No, we're not. But I mean, you can believe that, but then there's a problem, because you have to believe something that's not really true, like on any level. Now, of course, Biologus tries to resolve this. Biologus is a Christian website that tries to resolve science. Biologus, how do I spell that? I don't know. There we go. Biologus tries to resolve Christianity and science together. And so they might say something like, that the evolution of the people that are talking about are like different tribes of people or something like that. And although they have no basis to assert anything on, at least that's closer in line with how things work. It's still not how things happen, but at least it's closer. So, if you're going to do apologetics, I would say at least go with some form of argumentation that you might get from here. But this, of course, you're going to have to take with a huge grain of salt, because they're still not quite correct. So, okay, back to this. Eric 10 Comfort. Hey, I know that guy. Just how much incest does it take to populate the earth? Yeah, that might actually be a good book to read, Evolution for Dummies. That's fine. Those books are good. Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, I guess there's more. No, or is that the end of it? Okay, I guess that's it. So, wow. What can be said about this? Just SJ. Why? Why? Like, okay, somebody else tweeted it and then they deleted it, so I thought I'd tweet it. Like, why? I mean, you went to college. Surely, I don't know, maybe you didn't take biology. I don't remember biology from high school, so but I remember learning about evolution later on in life, and it was like, yeah, okay, yeah, it's fine, And as a Christian, I'm worried that, well, maybe I have to, what do I have to deny this to be a Christian? No, you don't. You have to make a lot of excuses, but you don't have to deny it. Jeez. What are we going to do with you? Well, hopefully after the 18th, at some point, I'm going to have hey, there we go. They got two people in here, Drago Atheist and Johnny Drive-By. Drago says, Jordan B. Peterson says we have Christianity think for science. I don't know that he has said that. Johnny Drive-By says she's not doing any justice for her credibility, to be sure. Yeah, I mean, can be a Christian apologist and to have gone so fast from where she was to all the way up to talking and debating with Richard Carrier. Or was it Richard Carrier that she debated? Or somebody else. Anyway, some big name, right? That's pretty impressive. But you gotta know, you gotta have something to base it on. And when I've looked at her blog, and looked at the different things, it's like we're just coming up with ideas like on your own to some extent, and then just grabbing things that you think might agree with you kind of here and there. But these tweets just, yeah, Carrier. Okay, she did debate that. Yeah, so I mean that's impressive. But you got to scale back on this sort of stuff, because we don't know what the bleep you're saying, and you don't know what the bleep you're saying. Like, technically, I suppose you could say there was a first Homo and second and third Homo sapien, but I don't think you could at the same time, because several might have been born together. You wouldn't know. You would have no way to know. You could say, well, somebody, I don't know. I mean, they were born, yeah, but like the gradient is too narrow to define at some point. It would be real, like, even if the scientist was able, or several scientists were able to go back in time and test genetics and whatever, and they had the whole DNA figured out and all that, like, super well, I think even they'd be hard pressed to tell you at what point the person isn't Homo sapien and is whatever, like, proto Homo sapien. Like, I don't think it's like right there next to each other. It's like actually further apart than that. It's a gradient leading up to a point, and then to go back a little bit and a little bit, maybe there'd be like an in-betweenish stage or something. I don't know. I mean, but you'd have to have the DNA to look at to really to make any sense of it. You'd have to have a time machine. So without that, it's pure speculation. So I don't know. But I mean, I guess it is just not understanding science to some degree. And that happens, sadly, with some theists, that they stop reading other books other than the Bible, or other than apologetic books. Okay, so Drago's saying that this Jordan P. Peterson had mentioned this during a talk with Dave Rubin. Without Christianity and emphasis on truth at all costs, science would never come about. I don't know that. I mean, he might have said that. I honestly don't know. But the first a lot of the first scientists were Christian. Now, that's a result of the time that they were in, more than likely, because, I mean, Christianity was everywhere. And you had lots of time if you were a monk or a priest, a lot of time to do stuff. And the church, provided for you. So you had a lot of time to read and study and think. So it's not really surprising to see that scientists would emerge from that realm. Of course, some of them would have had to leave the church because they would have been heretics. Some of them probably had to keep quiet about their discoveries. If it wasn't Christianity, it probably would have been a different religion or a different system, because Islam had a golden age of wisdom as well, before a certain guy with the letter M starting his name showed up. They were doing pretty good. They gave us algebra. They gave us a lot of other things as well. So it might have come from them, but it would have come about eventually. It just would have taken longer. I guess you could say on some technical level that it came, or the biggest movement was because of that, or because of Christianity, or I don't know if it's because of Christianity or in spite of it. But I suppose you could make some sort of argument for it, but that doesn't, even if you make that argument and you can make it well within historical facts, who cares? Doesn't mean that Christianity is true or anything like that. Also, I don't think that it really comes from the idea of looking for truth. To my understanding, the early Christian scientists were trying to understand the world so they could understand God better, which isn't necessarily the same thing as a search for truth. It's a search for God. But they had a methodology that sadly modern Christians seem to lack when in regards to science, which is believing that whatever it is they found would let them understand God better. And now you have Christians who deny aspects of science like evolution because they think they got the right idea of how to view God, and all these other Christians are wrong, you know. So, you know. The pre-Socratic philosophers already talking about atomic theory. Yeah. I mean, like I said, in science isn't just one thing; it's many different things. So it's been around before Christianity, and probably would have been around even without Christianity. So I don't know, making these sort of going backwards and saying, well, thanks to X, we have all this. It's like, well, maybe to some degree, but there's so many other things to think. If you keep going back, why stop there? Like if you want to say, well, morality of the West is thanks to Christianity, not really. I mean, that might have had some influence on the morality, but not completely. There's certainly other factors, and why stop at Christianity? Why not go back and thank Judaism, and go back and thank Zoroastrianism, and before Zoroastrianism? How far back do you go to thank, quote unquote, whoever? Look, we got here. That's what matters. Well, it's based on our thing. Well, your thing is based on someone else's thing. So what? What's your point? You can't make a new invention. It's always going to be based on something that already exists. Even the wheel isn't original. So, there's always, if you keep going back all the way, well, thanks to humanity, we have this. Yeah, there you go. How about that? Just not deal with, any of that thing. It's just silly, but the proto-scientific method is poking things with a stick. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, see what happens if I do this, I mean, there's a lot of bad, or, well, not bad, but ways you can try to figure things out in a very low-key resolution or something like that. But to just go back to this, is she really trying to go against evolution, or is she honestly trying to figure it out, or is she confused, or is she just retweeting something that somebody deleted? I honestly don't know. But hey, at least I've never tweeted anything that I later regretted. It's okay when I do it, though. So, man, I don't know. It's weird. So yeah, that's all I got, I guess. I mean, I just thought that was weird and funny. And I guess I'll put the link here and see if anyone joins me within the next few minutes. And if not, then I'll kill this stream. And that will be that. So let's wait for people to click on the link. Go, click on the link and click on the Zelda and click on the Ganon, the Triforce of Power, Wisdom, and Courage. Bum, bum, bum. I keep thinking about doing a video about the theology of Zelda, but it's like, nobody would care. That's never stopped me before. I just do it anyway. It's like, because they've got the wisdom, courage, and power. That's like the Trinity. They've got the three goddesses, you know. He has its own religion. It's like legendary almost. Nope, no one's gonna join in. No one. Oh, okay. Well, this has been a thing I did. Going once. Oh, okay. Johnny can't go in. He's got his drum set. I do the theology of Ultima series personally. I don't know enough about the Ultima series. I know a lot about Zelda though, so I'll cover that one of these days. Expressionist catastrophe. I can't say words. All right, goodbye. I'm gonna hang up on this thing. Yeah, or maybe I'll talk about Zelda. No, I'll hang up on this thing. Goodbye.